Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're diving headfirst into the future of e-bikes today. You know, based on all the research we've been doing, it's looking pretty amazing, and we've got some fascinating insights to share.
Absolutely. And you've sent over some articles and notes. Looks like you've been digging deep into this yourself too.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff out there. I'm particularly struck by how fast things are evolving.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's not just the technology, it's the whole way we think about transportation. It's all kind of like coming together.
It really feels like a revolution is brewing. So let's get straight to it. I think the heart of the matter is the battery tech. That's where we're seeing those game-changing leaps.
Right. I mean, lithium-ion batteries, which is what we mostly have now, those are getting better and better. Like, the range is going to be a lot less of an issue very soon.
Yeah, exceeding 100 miles on a single charge, possibly by next year, that's huge. And charging times are dropping like a rock. Imagine an 80% charge in half an hour. That's like a coffee break.
Yeah, totally. And those are just incremental improvements to lithium-ion. The real exciting stuff is, those emerging technologies like solid-state batteries.
Yeah, solid state. That's a big one.
And then you've got silicone anode batteries. These could double or even increase energy density tenfold, which is insane.
So basically, we're talking smaller, lighter batteries with much more juice. That opens up a lot of possibility.
Absolutely. And solid state in particular, they're much safer too. No liquid electrolyte, so less risk of those, nasty fires you sometimes hear about.
Right, safety is paramount. And I was reading about how it's not just about cramming more power into a battery. It's about how that power is managed, too.
Yeah, the battery management system, the BMS, it's becoming incredibly sophisticated. Think of it as the brain of the battery, right? It's optimizing everything. Lifespan, safety, performance, even under different conditions.
So the tech is getting smarter.
Absolutely. We're also seeing cool innovations like modular batteries, so you can swap them out easily, and regenerative braking. That captures energy when you brake, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, every little bit helps. And then there's the push for better recycling, which is super important with all these batteries coming into use.
Oh, for sure. Sustainability is a huge part of the e-bike revolution.
Speaking of revolution, what about the motors themselves? Seems like more power is just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, yeah. It's not just about raw power anymore. It's about how that power is delivered, how it feels.
Like a smoother ride, I imagine.
Exactly. More powerful motors, but also more efficient. And, we'll see better acceleration, better handling on all sorts of terrain. Imagine cruising up those steep hills with no sweat.
Now that's appealing. And there's talk about these, like, super smart power assist modes.
Right. So potentially, your e-bike could adapt to your riding style in real time, maybe even anticipate what you need.
That sounds like something out of science fiction. And the motors themselves are getting more compact, aren't they?
Yeah, lighter, more integrated into the frame. That's going to improve handling and aesthetics. We might even see more automatic transmissions, which could make things a lot simpler for riders.
Yeah, easier to use, more people riding, and they're getting quieter too.
No, yeah, much quieter. That's a big plus, especially in urban areas.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the bikes themselves, the
Yeah.
materials, the design, it's all evolving rapidly.
It is, carbon fiber, advanced aluminum alloys. These are making frames lighter and more aerodynamic, and that's great for handling, especially in cities where you need to be nimble.
And I've noticed a real push towards sleeker, more integrated designs. Some of those batteries are practically invisible.
Right, it's like they're disappearing into the frame. And it's not just about looks. We're seeing some really interesting innovations in sustainable materials, like those cellulose-based composites.
That's great to hear. And it seems like modular designs are becoming more common.
Yes, that's good news for customization and repairs. You can upgrade or replace parts more easily.
It's all about making them last longer. And speaking of the future, e-bikes are getting seriously connected. It's like they're becoming part of our digital lives.
Yeah, you're right. Integration with smartphones is becoming the norm. You can track your rides, monitor your health data, even control security features.
And GPS for navigation and anti-theft, that's practically standard now.
Right. And then there are the apps. You can customize settings, get remote diagnostics, even download over-the-air updates all from your phone.
It's like having a mini computer on your handlebars. And AI is starting to play a role, isn't it?
Yeah, some really interesting possibilities there. Imagine AI predicting when you need maintenance or adapting the power assist based on your route.
That's pretty wild. And I'm seeing more and more e-bikes with advanced displays showing all sorts of real-time information.
Absolutely. And the security features are getting really advanced too. Biometric locks, smart rings, that kind of thing.
So it's a whole ecosystem evolving around the e-bike. And it's no surprise that the market is, like, exploding globally.
It is. Projections are pretty mind-blowing. We could be talking over $100 billion by 2030.
That's a massive market. And it's
Yeah.
not just one region, is it?
No, it's truly global. We're seeing strong growth in Europe, in North America, and Asia Pacific is already a huge market.
So what's driving this growth?
Well, there are a lot of factors. People are more aware of the environmental impact of transportation. Traditional fuels are expensive. Cities are getting more and more congested. And governments are starting to offer incentives for e-bikes.
Oh, it's a perfect storm in a good way.
Yeah.
And the e-bike market itself is incredibly diverse, isn't it? It's not just one type of bike.
Exactly. There's something for everyone. Urban commuters, mountain bikers, cargo bikes, folding bikes. We're seeing more long-range e-bikes, lightweight designs, and those with all the bells and whistles. And then you've got different types of motors, mid-drive versus hub, and different battery types, although lithium-ion is still king.
It's a really dynamic market, and the people who are buying e-bikes are changing too.
Yeah, definitely. It's not just a niche thing anymore. We're seeing more women riding e-bikes and a wider age range. Commuting to work is still a big reason, but people are using them for all sorts of things, from errands to leisure rides.
Now let's talk about the environmental angle. E-bikes are often seen as a greener alternative, but how do they really stack up?
That's a great question. It's important to look at the whole picture. The manufacturing process for e-bikes, especially the batteries and motors, does have a higher carbon footprint than traditional bikes.
Right, so it's not a completely green solution.
But when you compare them to cars, the difference is huge. E-bikes produce a fraction of the CO2 emissions per kilometer, and they use much less energy overall. You can get the equivalent of hundreds of miles per gallon with an e-bike.
That's pretty impressive.
Over their entire life cycle, e-bikes tend to have a lower environmental impact than even electric cars. They also contribute less to air and noise pollution in cities, and they take up less space.
So from an environmental perspective, it seems like they're a step in the right direction.
Absolutely, but there are still things to consider, like where does the electricity for charging come from? And how do we recycle those batteries effectively?
Right, it's not a perfect solution, but it's definitely a step towards a more sustainable future.
Hmm.
And as more people choose e-bikes, our cities are going to have to adapt.
Totally. I mean, e-bikes offer a really practical solution for getting around, especially in congested cities. They're affordable, they're often faster than cars, and they can easily connect with public transportation for those last mile journeys.
So we're going to need better infrastructure.
Exactly. More dedicated bike lanes, wider and safer ones, more charging stations, and secure parking facilities.
Yeah, we need to make it easier and safer for people to choose e-bikes.
We might even see cities start to reallocate space, giving more priority to bikes and pedestrians and less to cars.
That would be a major shift.
It would. And e-bikes could become a big part of public bike sharing programs too. That's already happening in some cities.
It's fascinating to see how e-bikes are changing not just transportation, but our urban landscape as well.
It is. And it's all happening so quickly.
It really is. So to sum it all up, the future of electric bikes is incredibly exciting. The technology is evolving at a breakneck pace. The market is booming. And e-bikes are playing a bigger role in shaping our cities and how we get around.
And all those things are connected. Technology, market forces, and societal shifts, it's all coming together to push e-bikes into the mainstream.
It's really remarkable. You know, it's crazy to think we might see e-bikes with over 100 miles of range hitting the market very soon.
I know, right? Just imagine the possibilities.
It's a real game changer. So here's something for everyone listening to think about. How might our cities be transformed if e-bikes become the main way we get around? That's a pretty profound question.
It is. It makes you think about the future of transportation and urban design in a whole new way.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of e-bikes.
My pleasure. I always enjoy these conversations.
We hope you found it insightful, and we encourage you to keep exploring this topic. There's so much more to discover.
Absolutely. The future of e-bikes is bright.
Thanks for listening.